BBC Good Food and welcome to Boss the Basics. In this episode we're going to be making a cottage pie, which is a firm family favourite, a great one for the freezer and a dish that can be made ahead. So the first thing we need to do is make our meat sauce. So here's the ingredients we need. We've got 500 grams of minced beef. You could use lamb, which will turn into a shepherd's pie, but the recipe would be exactly the same. We've got some chopped onion, some chopped carrot, some chopped celery, a bit of fresh thyme, a couple of bay leaves. We've got some plain flour, some tomato puree, some oil, some Worcestershire sauce, some beef stock, and a splash of red wine. And that's what we need for our meat sauce. The first thing we need to do is we need to get our pan on a medium heat. We need to add about 2 tablespoons of oil. Then we're just going to add the beef to the oil. So we're going to sizzle this and we're just going to render it down. We're going to stir it occasionally and it will go a bit grey and it won't look like it's cooking, but eventually in about 10-15 minutes that will be beautiful and caramelised. So don't worry about all this liquid that's coming out. This might seem counterintuitive, but this is a really good way of browning off beef. You just let it simmer in its own juices and that just intensifies the flavour of the beef. And once those juices have reduced down, the beef starts sizzling in its own fat and it goes lovely and crispy, and that's how you get loads of flavour on it. And now we're going to add our vegetables. I'm going to cook those off with the beef. So now our veg has had about 10 minutes in with the beef. We've just been cooking it gently and stirring it. And the veg is all softened and the beef has gone lovely and brown and caramelised. So to this we're going to add about a tablespoon of flour. Now this is just going to give us a lovely thick sauce. Just stir that in. And then we're going to add a good squeeze of tomato puree, so about a tablespoon of tomato puree. Once that's all really well mixed in, we're going to add couple of shakes of Worcestershire sauce. Splash of red wine, about half a glass. And then we've got about half a litre of beef stock. So that's just going to be stirred in. We're just going to leave that to simmer for about 30 minutes until you have a rich, nicely thickened, beefy sauce. So that's our sauce. It's had 30 minutes. It's looking rich and delicious and the gravy's just thickened enough, so that's ready to go into our dish. We're just going to tip our sauce straight into our oven-proof dish. Like so. So for the next part of our cottage pie we need to make the topping. Now the topping is nothing more than mashed potato with a bit of cheese through it. Here I've got a kilo of potatoes which I've put into some cold salted water. I'm going to bring it up to the boil, and when they're nice and fluffy and soft we're going to drain them, we're going to leave them to drain well, and then we're going to mash them with some milk and a bit of cheese and a bit of butter, and that's going to be the topping for our cottage pie. Our potatoes are cooked and we've just left them steam dry, which means we've left them alone so a lot of the steam comes off them and they're not sitting there in liquid. And we're going to season them with some grated nutmeg and some salt and pepper. And then we're going to add some butter and a splash of milk. 100 ml of milk, and then a handful of grated cheese, and we're just going to mash that down into a lumpy mash. all the potatoes are crushed. Just gonna give everything a nice stir. Mix it all together. And that is the topping to our cottage pie. So now we've got the two elements ready. We've got our mashed topping and our meat sauce in our pie dish. We just need to bring the two together, then it's ready to cook. And we're just gonna spread it over like so. So using the side of the dish like this, you take your topping and you work your way around it. We're going to top ours with a bit more cheese. Just over that goes. So that's it, ready to go in the oven. We're going to pop it in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes, and that's it until it's golden and beautiful and ready to come out. Always remember to pop it on a tray, because you don't want that sauce bubbling over the side and bubbling onto the bottom of your oven and causing a mess. So our cottage pie has had 30 minutes, and there it is, looking beautiful. Deep golden, crispy around the edges. You know that the sauce underneath is all bubbly and delicious, and I'm going to leave that to rest for about 10 minutes, and then it's going to be ready to eat. So that's how you make a brilliant cottage pie. Thank you very much for watching Boss the Basics. Don't forget, stay safe, get cooking.